Let's try that again. At least it tells me that my mic is muted. Hello, my friends. Welcome. Welcome to Desserts with the Diva. I am so glad to be here today. So very glad. It has been quite a hiatus, let me tell you. And I'm sure some of you have probably already seen. If you saw my little June reset video, I kind of gave you the overview of exactly how my little hiatus went. And how it wasn't at all the restful and rejuvenating vacation that we desired to have. It was apparently not meant to be that time for us, but it is what it is. We survived, we made it back, and now we're moving on and we're moving forward. So, thank you all for being here today. What dessert are you having today? I actually had y'all. So, among our road trip stuff, we managed to stop at Buc-ee's. Have y'all heard of Buc-ee's? Buc-ee's is the place that kind of looks like it's Busey's or whatever. It's got the picture of the beaver on it. We finally decided to stop at a Buc-ee's because we normally stop at a Love's or a Pilot, one of the truck stops that have like cleaner bathrooms, more options, a little bit safer feeling, things like that. But we kept driving by Buc-ee's, so we're like, you know what? Let's stop at Buc-ee's. Long answer to the short question of I ate some of the beaver nuggets that we had still left over from our trip to Buc-ee's because once we got home, we promptly put them in a cabinet and your girl completely forgot about them. Probably. It is probably a US thing. It is a giant gas station stop. We're talking, I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, I normally stop at a Love's or a Pilot. So it's got like a truck side gas station and then it has like the automobile side gas station. The Buc-ee's has like 3 different complete big gas stations set up. 3 of them. 3 of them. And then you go inside. And yes, this is exactly, I have to get reused to using my software. What Sarah said. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. We went in and of course, Eric and I couldn't experience it together because we couldn't bring Gracie in with us. So one of us had to stay out. We're talking carving station where they are hand carving pieces of meat and throwing them on barbecue sandwiches. Full service bakery. So much spices, housewares, gourmet dog section. Like it's a gas station and it was the most bonkers thing I've ever seen. And we were just like, I don't even know like how to process what I'm looking at, especially since we were on a road trip. So we were like, we got places to go. We want to be home as early as possible, that sort of thing. So we kind of hustled through it, but it was insane to me. It was insane to me how much stuff was in there. It was crazy. So yeah, it seems insane. But the one thing I did do when I went in there, I had a turkey sandwich. It was fine. It was nothing to write home about. I didn't have time to like browse the spices and the stuff you cook with and everything, but I did hunt down these beaver nuggets because I was like, that was the one thing that I remembered was there. And so I picked them up and I ate them not knowing what they were, and they are wickedly addicting and so very good. So very good. So I had / maybe still have a Luigi's Italian Ice tract for my dessert. but then I decided to eat some of those instead. So I may or may not, I have to decide if I want to go over the 64 calories. I'm back in my deficit. I started my deficit back up on Monday after a 5-week diet break, and I've been killing it, killing it. And so I'm like, do I really want to go over on day 3? I don't know. But we'll see how I feel after this, because if I'm not hungry, I ain't going to do it. So anyway, before we get into all of this, Susan, I did in fact see your comment, and I think that's a great topic for a discussion this evening. But I want to say hello, Susan, and Andy is here, and Lissa's here, and Sarah, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name, Sapir, and Sarah, we saw, and I was there. She is. Kathy is here too. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, quick recap for you all. While we were on vacation, my husband and I both caught COVID. That was super fun. Um, we went to and enjoyed 4. I enjoyed 4. He enjoyed 5 playoff hockey games during round 1 of the Florida Panthers. Did we go to round 2? We might have gone to round 2 as well. We watched them win round 1 and get completely crushed in round 2, but we at least got to go and experience playoff hockey. That may or may not be where we picked up COVID. We don't actually know, because we went to the first game on a Tuesday, and my husband started presenting symptoms on Thursday, and that's less than 48 hours. So we're like, is that really where we got it from? But we can't figure out where else we got it from. I didn't get it from wherever he got it. I got it from him. So your guess is as good as mine as to where that came from. Thankfully, we both had pretty mild cases, and it was a lot of resting. It was a lot of, chilling. I lost not my sense of taste or smell, but my appetite. I lost my appetite, and that was really it, right? Runny nose, the normal cold-like symptoms. I just kind of felt off for a while, and after the fact, after I had since recovered and got home, I have been battling with the fatigue, which I covered in the video, but I wanted to give a recap for somebody who hasn't watched that video yet. So it's been, super fun trying to get back in the swing of things and fight chronic fatigue and COVID fatigue at the same time. It has been an adventure, let me tell you. But it's fine. It's fine. We're here. I'm finding that as I get, the momentum going again, and I'm getting, instead of 5,000 steps, I'm getting between 8 and 10,000 steps. My energy is starting to come back slowly, but surely. So, coffee. I didn't even bother to try their coffee. I didn't even bother to try and have my coffee. More of a Texas thing. We were nowhere near Texas. We were nowhere near Texas. They're starting to pop up. And as we drove by, I think our third one, I looked at my husband and I said, have these always been here? Have these always been here on the road trips we've made home from Florida? Because I don't remember seeing them. And so I think that they're new. But they are en route from Florida to Minnesota, or to Chicago more specifically, which means they're in Georgia. I think it was Georgia and Tennessee. It must have been Georgia mostly, I think. It was kind of crazy. Thank you, Kathy. Were you not wearing masks? To be completely transparent, we did not wear masks. We did not wear masks when we went the first time. Once COVID was in our house, we wore masks, even though we were past the quarantine period. When we went out to the games, we still wore our masks, because that's what you do when you have COVID or you had COVID. But yeah, to be completely honest, we did not. And the thing is, again, we don't know if that's where we got it. We don't know. So we were good citizens, and after we had it, even though we quarantined, I missed out on one of the games that I had tickets to, because my husband only had 2 tickets, and it was going to be him and I, and it was close, and it was within my 5-day quarantine window, and I was like, I'm not, even though I feel fine, I can't go. So my mother-in-law went instead. Which is fine. It is what it is. I stayed home, and Gracie and I watched the game on the couch in our little quarantine section of the house, and it was fine. So we took the CDC quarantine guidelines very seriously, and it is what it is. My husband doesn't appear to have any lingering symptoms. Oh, the other lingering symptom that I have, that I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, but I have started to have pain in my heels. Like, and most people are telling me, "Oh, it's plantar fasciitis." I don't think it's coincidence that the flare up of the pain in my heels happened after I had COVID. I don't think that that is a coincidence at all. So I don't know if it's part of the inflammatory response. I don't know if it got in my nerves for CMT and jacked things up there a little bit, but it's like a tingling sensation in my heels that sometimes turns into pain. And when it's pain, it feels like there's a rubber band from the back of my heel cord wrapped around my heel until the arch of my foot. That's what it feels like to me. That's I can very clearly feel that that's where the problem is. And it's so random that I'm like, is it just totally coincidental that this is when it came out? Or like this was a long time coming anyway, and it's just my new normal? Or is this because of everything else that happened in my body? I do not know. I do not know. Beaver nuggets are so good. They are very good. Yeah, I didn't get to look at any of the fun stuff. I knew I had to hunt those down. Was new, open in Kentucky. Yeah, so they're in the main route from coming from Florida going north, which is cool. It's fun. It means that whenever we do the drive, we have the opportunity to look at that, and check that place out instead. People are still wearing masks here. Yeah, and with numbers going back up, like depending on the crowd, I always have a mask in my purse in case I feel like there's too much happening, and or if I start to cough, sneeze, having allergies, whatever it is, I throw a mask on now. And I will probably continue to do that well after all of this is over, if this is ever over. Like in Japan, we lived in Japan for 10 weeks while my husband was studying abroad. And it was standard practice there that if you are ill, you wear a mask, period. Standard practice, totally normal to see a bunch of people walking down the street with a mask on. And this was in 2015. It was completely normal. And I was like, maybe they're onto something. So I will probably continue to do something like that. So like if I'm out with a cold, it might just be a cold, but still. Um, I wouldn't think it's COVID, but who knows? Exactly. But who knows? Who the heck even knows anymore? I don't know. I wouldn't think it would be COVID either, but I know that it causes an inflammatory response that can jack some things up. So maybe I just got jacked up. I don't know. My coworker has long COVID. One of her symptoms is sharp shooting pain from her knee to her foot. Said it was a COVID side effect. Maybe, possibly. Maybe, possibly. When my feet tingle, I spend the next 3 days in bed. Yeah, I can't. I've been moving a lot less. It has been a lot harder for me to get my steps in. I joined my friend Jordan's step bet, and I think that starts next week or the week after. I can't remember. And that's going to get me up and moving, which is great. But I haven't been because I've been so tired. And then what I found today is the first day, and I credit it to the fact that I made myself a second espresso beverage today and had a latte with a double shot of espresso in it as to why I'm still functional. But I have found like when I got back and like back into the swing of things last week, Memorial Day weekend, I lifted weights 2 days in a row and I worked out a whole one time while I was gone. And I did just like a nice little 4 quad set, 3 rounds, 1 block, just to kind of reintroduce weightlifting to my body. Both days that I did weightlifting, I was so tired. I was out of commission the rest of the day. Just out of commission. It was brutal. And it took me days. It took me days to just start to feel normal. I have stopped setting an alarm unless I had to. The only alarm that I set since we've been home has been was our Sunday morning alarm for 5:30 in the morning because we had to be at church at 7. So that was the only alarm I've set since we've been home, and I'm just letting myself sleep, and that's probably helping. I'm getting up at like somewhere between 7:30 and 8 instead of 7 o'clock, because I need to throw my body a bone and figure out how to best fight the fatigue. And that seems to be helping a bit. So I feel like I'm on the up and up, but it's taking me a lot more time than originally planned. So there's that. I signed up for 2 Conquer Metal challenges, one for indoor walk videos and one for outdoor. I love that. I've seen those. I do the Yes Fit ones. And I'm working on my way through a Broadway one right now. And I'm a sucker. Peloton got me. I haven't had an active Peloton membership. I don't have the bike. I just do it on my elliptical. But they sent me a join for $12.99 for 3 months instead of $12.99 for 1 month. And I was like, Sold all summer for $13. I will do it. It'll be great. So I signed back up for that today. And between that and my Yes Fit medals, hopefully that'll get me going. And the step bet, which evidently starts on Monday. So so was today the warm up week? Should I have been syncing my steps to the app all week? Whoops. Um, Shows how much I'm paying attention. Anyway, so that's what's happening with me. Tell me what's happening with y'all, guys. Highs and lows. Do we have any? Do we have any highs and lows that you want to share? Um, do you get muscle twitching type pain? Occasionally, yes. I do. That's part of my disease. Sometimes my fingers will twitch like this. That'll happen. It happens here. It's often. Often is not the right word. But it sometimes happens in like my quadricep muscle or sometimes my calf muscle, which is hilarious because they don't work very well, and sometimes my booty. Just like a spot about this big in any of those places, on my quad, on my butt, wherever it is. And it pulses. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. So yeah, that kind of twitching. And sometimes my fingers will do it. And this is literally what it looks like. With me not doing it, that's what it'll look like. It's very strange. Oh, next week is warm up week. Great. Awesome. Working on the third Wizard of Oz race. Yes, I have. I don't know if I bought that yet. Yikes. I think I tried to and the app wouldn't let me. I need to get it. I need to get on that. I'm so behind, y'all. I am so behind. So I'm counting because I missed it out on it when you did yours. Um, so, so, highs and lows. Does anybody have any? My high is that I'm back. And I'm feeling pretty good. My low is that it's taking me a while to build momentum. And yeah, we're 15 minutes into this thing. Susan, I do want to talk about the coffee pods. I do. But I want to tell you guys my life news first. I can't give you all the details yet because we haven't gotten all the details out to our friend public yet, but I'm going to tell you guys so you know when my life is in shambles and videos are sporadic and you're like, I thought she was supposed to be back, but she's not really back. We're moving. Yeah. And this has been something that has been in the works for quite some time, and it has the potential to be a bit of a whirlwind. So there's that. You all know how well I do with my environment changing and chaos and all that sort of thing. So I don't have any detail. Well, I have the details. I can't give them to you yet, but hopefully by next week I will be able to give you the details. But so that's happening. That's happening. I can't decide if it's a high or if it's a low because there are both sides to this entire situation. Both sides. So what you need to know right now is if I seem disjointed, anxious, scarce, any of those things, that's why. That's why. Because behind the screen, my life is chaos. Eventually, these bookshelves are going to have to come down and go away and all sorts of things. And I'm just sitting here going, how am I going to act normal on the internet and do this at the same time? And I was like, I can't. I have to tell them. I have to tell them. So I'm telling you. More details later. But no, pray for me first. Pray for me and my sanity and all of that because I could use every prayer that you've got. And it's a very exciting thing, but also these transitions get me every time, y'all. They get me every time. And it's just, I get anxious just thinking about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So now you're in on the secret that has been in the works for a long time. And now I can finally say a little something of it to you. So there's that. Get about 5 times a day. That's no fun. That is no fun. I've decided I'm retiring. My goal is to be in my home in North Carolina by September 1st. I can't take the crime in New York City anymore. I don't blame you, but also congratulations. That is so exciting. I am so happy for that decision for you. I really am, because I know that this whole pandemic has just been so much stress and anxiety and weight on you. And I'm really like, oh, you get to go live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. That's amazing. Oh, I'm so jealous. I am so, so jealous. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And Susan, if I am ever in town, We'll go get coffee or go to the Carolina Bakery or something like that. Or Brick's Pizza. Oh gosh, I miss Brick's Pizza. That was a fun place. Not karaoke. Trivia every Monday night is what we used to do there. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. Lowe's, Target near me stopped selling the chicken seasoning. I haven't looked for that chicken seasoning in a long time, and that I don't know. Target has made some interesting choices with their inventory lately. I had to go to a different grocery store to get Fairlife milk the other day because it didn't just say out of stock. It said currently not sold at my store. I was like, you had it last time I was grocery shopping. What changed? Like, struggling with my routine and some mental health things. Exciting. I can't wait to hear. I'll tell you guys more as soon as I can, but just know that chaos is going to ensue. Feeling pretty pumped about doing major goal reset. Had a few really good conversations about some things last few days and really warmed my heart. Oh, that's good. That's good. You and me, Brianna, I'm moving. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. Oh, you're living my dream, Susan. You're living my dream. Focus on what you can control. Always the sound advice, Sarah. Always the sound advice. Yes, and I'm also continuing to do my coaching, not like my business. I'm still doing my business too. I still have my clients that I'm running and everything, and at this point, I was like, "Oh, I should start, pushing to try to get more clients." And now I'm with this moving stuff. I'm like, "Maybe I'll just wait. Maybe I'll just take the couple clients I have and we'll keep going and go from there." Because oh man, but I'm going to continue my work with my coach, because even though there's a lot of advice that says, during big times of transition is not the right time to do a fat loss phase. I'm so ready for this fat loss phase and to see progress and to just summer's my time to thrive. It really is. I thrive in the summertime, and with as crazy as it sounds, I love wearing less clothes. I love wearing less clothes. I can move freely in less clothes. The more clothes you put on me, literally the harder it is for me to move. Um, which seems so silly to an able-bodied person, I'm sure. Like, what difference does a pair of jeans make? Think about that pair of jeans that's like really tight and kind of hard to move in. That's how all pants feel to me. Unless they're like yoga pants, which is why I'm in them most of the time, right? I don't just run around in workout clothes because they're comfortable, but literally it's the easiest thing to wear around. So in summertime, I get to wear less clothes. I move easily. I move freely. I'm not freezing all the time. And it just is better. It's just better for me. So, because it is summertime and because being in a cut is something that I can control, it won't be perfect because if we're out of the house and we have no food, we have to stop at places, like it's going to be a beautiful mess, a spicy disaster, but it's something that I can control. It's something that I can continue to do for me throughout this chaos. So that is one thing that I'm going to be doing. Also working on making sure that I keep my activity up, stay hydrated, which reminds me I should take a sip of water, beverage break. And all of those things. So, very good advice, Sarah. I'm supposed to move, but we'll need an escort to go there. No escort, no move. Not sold at any store near me. That is a bummer. I wonder if they got rid of it. Like I said, I haven't looked for a really, really long time. So you and me moving. I hear on the books I have to pack, floor to ceiling bookshelves. I'm freaking out too. I lived in New York City, the apartment for 40 years. Oh man, you got to pack up 40 years. Wow. That's going to be quite a journey for you. That's going to be quite a journey. We've only lived here for 3. It'll be 3 years in August. So, we won't even have been here for 3 years. If depending. There are a couple things playing into the timeline of things. There is a potential to like whirlwind it and temp housing it and everything, kind of like what we did when we moved here. Do you guys remember when we did that? We ended up leaving our house, staging it. And so like putting half of our stuff in storage and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then we went and lived in downtown Minneapolis for middle of July through end of August, so like 5 or 6 weeks. And we lived in this apartment downtown. And my husband worked at the office during the day, and we house hunted at night. And then in the end of August is when we closed on our house, bought the house, and worked with a realtor that was provided for us. It was great, and so that's how that happened. If we decide we're going to pull the trigger immediately, we could be back in temp housing very, very soon. And that's and then, get this place all snatched up and staged and sell this, buy something else. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Caitlin, welcome. Welcome. 40 years of stuff I can't imagine. Y'all, you want to talk about years of stuff you can't imagine? My mother lives in the same house that she was born in, and she is going to be 62. 62. Um, Heaven only knows what's in that house. Like, every time I go there, part of me is like, I want to start cleaning things out. And then another part of me is like, I don't even know what I'm going to find. If I dig deep enough, I'm going to find things in that house older than me. Like, it's going to be crazy. I meant to say you and Gracie have an open invitation to my home. Thank you, Susan. I do appreciate that. One of these days, maybe we'll take you up on it. Trying to figure out what's a knockoff. There has to be an original version of it. You're absolutely right, and I don't know. The Target by my in-laws didn't sell it either, so I had to settle for an on-brand McCormick and Schmitz is a restaurant. McCormick seasoning that was like a chicken grilling. It was like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't the same. It was not the same seasoning. And I don't know where they got it from. I don't now you have me wondering. Now you have me wondering if the chicken grilling seasoning is even still there. Now I'm kind of like, what if it's not? What if it's not there? Chicken grilling seasoning? Chicken grilling seasoning. It's out of stock at my store, so that's not great. But it's on the website. Oh my. Yeah. Chaos. Thank you. So that's the update. Just pray for me. I could use all the help I can get. So let's talk about my new baby, shall we? Because I know Susan wanted to talk about it. I finally got an espresso machine. I got it. And it is set up in a very stupid place because we don't actually have room in the kitchen for it. And remember that, oh gosh, this reverse mirror thing. Ugh. Remember this table that was right here? It is currently on that table downstairs next to my table. That's my kitchen table, dining room table, whatever you want to call it. About a foot away from the air intake vent in front of a window, because we literally have no other place for it. And I decided that I could not wait to open this thing, because with the knowledge that we would be moving, but not knowing exactly when we're going to be moving, I'm like, if I knew that I had to wait a month to open this thing, fine. But if it's like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and like we just don't know, then I want to get into it. So finally, my husband's like, you know what? If it'll make you freaking happy, we will put the thing on the thing, and you can have your silly Nespresso machine. So I got it open, I got it set up, and I started working my way through the pods that came with it. I got a Virtual Plus machine. Virtual Plus, that's the one I got, right? And it's the DeLonghi one, which means it's the one that's like touch and you don't have to like twist it or do anything like that to it. So that's what I have. I just got an air fryer for my 50th. An air fryer. Is it everything you have ever wanted? I love my air fryer, especially for frozen appetizer type things. Oh, so good. I've been waiting so long. I know. When I actually posted the sale that I purchased it on, because it was on pretty deep sale at Target. I was like, I looked at my husband. I'm like, I have to pull the trigger. I will pay for it myself out of my little Brianna spending money checking account, so you can't even complain that you bought it. And I'm like, I'll do it. And I posted it, and Jordan Warren, actually messaged me, and she goes, "OMG, stop the madness! Just buy the stupid." So I finally did. I finally did. Oh, good. He likes it. Excellent. It's the greatest thing. I love my appliances, y'all. I like having a blender for my smoothies, my air fryer, my coffee. Oh man, the Nespresso machine. So my first experience with it was an espresso pod. That because it was the only decaf one, and I set it up at 4 p.m. So I was like, obviously I can't drink coffee because otherwise I'm going to be wired, and we can't have that. So I drank the only decaf one, and I was shocked. I don't know why I was shocked. I have a little bit more coffee knowledge in this, but I was shocked at how little liquid came out for this espresso pod. And I was like, that was it? The- What am I supposed to do with this? And then, when I think about it, I never order espresso on its own. Like when I do it, I'm adding it to something. It's an espresso shot or two that's in my Starbucks latte thing. Or during the summers, I used to get triple shots of espresso in a venti cup over ice. And then I would take, because of the ice, it looked like even more liquid. But then I would mix it in with the protein shake and be like, and that would be my protein coffee, right? So I never really stopped to think about how little liquid, how little volume is actually in a single shot of espresso. So my second experience was the next day with the actual cup of coffee. They had 4 coffee pods available in this dozen thing, which I've shown on Instagram. Espresso, two double espresso, 2 Grand Longo, 4 coffees. My first experience with the coffee was the darkest one, the most intense one, I guess. I don't know if the intensity number is actually akin to the darkness of the roast or if the intensity number is something else completely. I don't know, but I tried the darkest one and it was lovely. And then to keep things interesting, I went with and I can't remember what the darkest one was. It wasn't this, it was Intensio. Duh. Intensio is the first one I had. And then yesterday I tried Melosio, and I was like, oh, this, I'm just going to leave this up. I'm just going to leave this up because Melosio was like a 6 out of 10. And I was like, oh, she's a little lighter, so I probably won't like her as much. I thought she was delicious. Melosio was beautiful. She was great. Had the coffee flavor. There was a hint of the acidity, but my big thing is it tends to be with lighter roasts that they taste more acidic, and I think that is the flavor that I don't like. Do you ever go to a local roaster or something? I have found that a lot of small business coffee places have coffees that taste like that, the acidity, which is why, as much as I love buying local and supporting local businesses, I always go to Starbucks because Starbucks is always strong enough for me and it's always bold enough. And I think it's the acidity versus the boldness that is the difference for me. And I really need the research so I can actually speak coffee like a professional. But whatever it is, Melosio, even though she was a 6, was enough for me. She was awesome. She was awesome. Also, I got some WWT if you want it. My coach is messaging me about it right now because I messaged her. I was like, "Do you know about this?" We'll put a pin in that for a second. So I had Melosio yesterday, and I was like, "You know what? I love you. You are delicious." So today I went back to the higher intensity scale, and I had Stormio. Stormio is who I had today. She's the pretty green one, right? Apparently, my coffee is all female. I don't I don't know what that's about. Coffee is female to me today, apparently. So Stormio was also delicious. I liked Stormio very much. So tomorrow I have, gosh, I'm not going to remember now. Shoot. I really thought I remembered the name and I don't remember it. But then I also had, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so bad at this. Hang on. I need to go to the Nespresso website. I need to use the pod names appropriately. Coffees. Virtuo coffees. I need Virtuo coffee. Let's see here. Who did I have? I had Stormio, Intensio, Melosio. Um, is it Adagio that I have? I don't think that's who I have. Oh, maybe it's Adagio in a different color. That's really interesting. The only ones that are available on the website are boosted ones, Melosio Boost and Stormio Boost, which is very intriguing to me. Intensio, Stormio, Adagio. It wasn't Solio. It wasn't that one. and Melozio. So maybe it is Adagio, but I don't think it's blue. Now I can't remember. So I had that. I have that left, and then the espresso pod. Or the double espresso pod. What did I have? That was Bianco Leggero. Was that what I had? Double espresso sweet biscuit. I think that's who I made a latte out of today. Bianco Leggero. That sounds right. Yes, that sounds right. So I had a latte out of that today. I need to work with I wasn't wowed by the latte, but I just made it out of non-fat milk and one serving of nut pods. But it was my afternoon pick-me-up while I was leading my healthy meeting. Here in Canada, Costco sells the Starbucks one. Made my husband wish we had a machine. Yeah, and I think our Costco sells the Starbucks one too. Now, I did get the most generous gift from my friend Jordan today, who sent me a gift card to Amazon for literally no reason. And it turned out to just be like the random act of kindness that my heart needed. Like I welled up in tears when I saw it. I was like, you don't know how much I needed that with like all of the moving and the this and the that and the whew. It was just so sweet. And she goes, this is for your first round of pods. And so that's exactly what I did, was ordered pods off of Amazon today. So I ordered, because Nespresso has their own store on Amazon. I ordered 2 3-packs. So I ordered 6 sleeves of pods. And in it was, I got like the Barista Creations pack or the bakery pack, whatever it was. It was the hazelnut one. Let me give you the proper, Italian name here. Where is the I just saw them, I swear. Barista Creations. Here we go. Vanilla custard pie. That wasn't even why did I think they were Italian names? Vanilla custard pie, caramel cookie, and hazelino muffin. So hazelnut. So that was 1 pack of 3. And then the other pack of 3 was Adagio, Melozio, and Stormio. So those are what I have coming to me tomorrow for coffee. And then I also want to, then what are the numbers? Boldness? Roast? I don't know. I need to do my research. Oh, here we go. Wait, what is let me click on Intensio. Or maybe not. Here we go. Come on. Show me what I need to know. Yeah, it says intensity is a 9. So it is intensity, whatever they define as intensity. And it has a full body bar. It doesn't have any of the other bars of like acidity and whatever. It just has body and it's completely filled up. I don't know. I have to learn what it all means. My original plan was to go over to the Nespresso store this week and actually like sit and talk with somebody there, talk about my coffee preferences and what I should try and just bring home a bunch of different things. But with Jordan's gift, I was like, or I could save that money and order them on Amazon. So that's exactly what I did. So hopefully at some point I'll get over to the store. I do want to try the iced coffee, the Ice Forte, because I know that's a summer thing. So I want to do that. But Amazon only had that in a pack of 3 sleeves. And I'm like, I'm not willing to commit to 3 until I know I like 1, So I'm thinking I need a bigger one so I can cook bigger things like a whole chicken or pizzas. I'm definitely up for the WWT. All right. Once we're ending I'm starting insulin today. I'm having trouble trying to keep calm with insulin. Well, I don't think insulin helps with calmness, but starting insulin for other health things. I recently discovered I don't love hot coffee. I've been really into making cold brew though. Here's an interesting tidbit that I saw on TikTok that presumably is true. In my mind, it makes sense because it tracks with how I respond to coffee. There is a reason that people can like cold coffee, but not like hot coffee that has gotten cool. Something happens and there's actual acidity taste that happens when you let coffee brewed hot, meant to be hot, cool. It's different than having coffee with the intention of like brewing it for coldness or cold brewing it. There is something that happens when the coffee goes from hot to cold, which is why if you were at my healthy meeting today, you saw me completely over my last swig of coffee because I didn't realize that my coffee heater wasn't on. So the last swig that I took at the end of the meeting was cold and it was gross. And so that's a thing of like there's a difference between cold coffee and coffee that has gone cold. Interesting fun fact. The intensity is defined by a coffee's degree of roasting. Its body is its bitterness. Ooh, in addition to intensity due to the concentration of coffee. So then what I need to know, and this is going to just be trial and error, and at least having the Nespresso machine will allow me to track, like, I prefer this type over this type. What does that mean for all of those graphs? Um, because you said there's a bitterness scale, but there's also an acid scale, acidity scale, as well as a body scale. And so I'm wondering what, like, is it, I don't think it's is it the bitterness or the acidity that I don't like? I think it's the acidity that I don't like. Um, I don't know. It's a whole new thing. It's a whole new thing. I'm learning, I'm growing, but I feel a little bit more like a diva every morning when I have my coffee that has the little foam on the top. Although I will tell you, it is very different going from having I don't have a mug up here, two of my mugs, which are like not little standard like 8-ounce mugs. They're like 12 or maybe even 16-ounce mugs. And normally I have two of those a day. I can polish off half of a pot of 12-cup coffee pot by myself every day. Every day. Um, and it is a far cry when all of a sudden, because one of my husband's concerns is now if you get this, you realize the coffee is going to be more expensive and blah, 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 because it's more money per cup, right? I was like, yeah, but what if I just have like 1 cup a day and that's it and whatever. And I was like, well, let me try. Let me make my Nespresso cup in the morning and see if that's enough. And so the last 2 days, I've been trying very hard to like just have that be, or I guess this was my third day. So the first day I had in my mug that didn't even feel like halfway full. It was probably just over halfway full, of this mug. And it was the 1 cup of coffee. It was the 1 cup of coffee. Although Ivana told me today that something getting all the messages about the thing. Where's Ivana's thing? It is still the strength of a cup of coffee. Oh, she's talking about the espresso because I was talking about espressos. But like, so I have like 7.5, I think it's like 7.5 ounces or 7.25 ounces is what ends up brewing or whatever. And so like I've had to actually feel like you're not just gonna down this like you're chugging water in the morning because I can go through that coffee like whoa, right? So it's a savoring and it's an experience and you get a little bit of foam. And I put my nut pods in the Aerochino machine so it gets hot and doesn't cool down the temperature of my coffee. And it's been an experience, you know? And I'm all for, especially in the chaos that's going to start, I'm all for being able to cultivate little experiences as I go, you know? And if my 8-ounce cup of coffee is it, great, you know? Um, we have an espresso store here. They told me the numbers don't necessarily mean they are stronger. They suggest in-store tasting. I love their iced coffee pods. Buy them to last for the summer. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things, like, that's one of the things that I did when I went there to talk as I was toying with buying one. They made me a cup of the chocolate fudge, and that's the other one I couldn't find online. So if I go over to the store, I have a $10 off coupon that came with the machine. I might go pick up a sleeve of iced and a chocolate fudge one. And I drank the chocolate fudge black, and it was so good. Even though it's a medium roast, it was still deep enough, bold enough where it felt dark roasty to me, and it was very nice. It was very nice. So I go to the store and I don't remember what seasonal flavor I tried, but I'm really excited about their seasonal flavors as well, because they don't add like the fake flavorings and stuff to it, which is one of the things that like I've been turned off from flavored coffee for a long time now because I just don't like that artificial flavor thing. Did I tell you guys that I gave all of my Bones coffee? I ordered a ton of Bones coffee and I didn't like a single one of them. I gave them all to my sister. My sister and my dad are loving them. They're having a great time with them. But my sister also drinks coffee that's like the strength of coffee water. It's not like she doesn't like the bold coffee like Eric and I like. But I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Um Cold brew I like the experience of having a mug more than the drink itself. Yeah, so tea. Add more tea. That's a great choice. Um Did you mean a 32 ounce? No, my mug is only 16 ounces. I think they're 16 ounces. They might be 14 ounces actually, but they're like the bigger mugs. They're the mugs you see me posting on my pictures all the time. I drink my coffee out of a 64-ounce cup. So does my dad. So does my dad 3 times a day because my carers can't pick it up. Yeah, my dad has this giant coffee cup. I don't know if he actually fills it all the way up with coffee. Although at the strength my sister brews it makes sense that he would fill it up completely with coffee. Nothing against her, but like the first time I tried her coffee, she was being so nice and it was Christmas time. And she's like, here, I made you your holiday blend. And I drank it. And I was like, Christina, this tastes like coffee water. How much coffee did you use? And she goes, oh, only like 4 tablespoons. Or 4 tablespoons. I was like, for a 12-cup pot? She's like, yeah. I'm like, girl, I use a tablespoon per cup in my pots of coffee. She's like, oh, okay. I've been looking at trying bones again. It's cold brew. Yeah, I just didn't like the artificial tasting flavor of them. And it's interesting to me that it appears Nespresso doesn't have that. Like they're more like tasting notes than they are like, here, let me pump this full of artificial flavoring to give it the flavor, you know? Lori's here. Hello. Welcome. Glad to see you. I bought their sampler packs of syrup too. I add to iced coffee. Yeah. So the next step is me figuring out what exactly do I do to elevate this experience even more. So all I've been doing is putting my normal nut pods into the Aratino machine, which is fine. I'm on my last peppermint mocha nut pods. So sad. And I just got the coffee cake flavored ones is the next ones that I ordered. And part of me is like, like, especially to make my lattes, like, do I just use milk? But I wasn't wowed with just doing the milk. But I also, will I like syrups if I don't use the sugar-free ones? Like if I use regular syrups? Or do I do something like get like the sauces where, you know how like there's like salted caramel sauce and like chocolate sauce that people will like drizzle on top when they're getting real fancy with their Instagrams and their reels and their TikToks and everything. But if you put like a little bit of that and like, does it taste better to, instead of getting the syrup, to get like a sauce that will just melt into it instead? Will that feel more less artificially, so like now I have to play with what exactly do I do. I got some great suggestions on Instagram today for what to do with these espresso pods that I was so disappointed in. It's like a spit of espresso. And somebody told me, I think it was Kim actually, who's not here today, it appears. She told me, she's like, just put the espresso pod in your cup of coffee. I was like, brilliant, freaking brilliant. Like just add it to the cup of coffee, make it more intense. Why the heck not? And the other thing that I was sent, which why didn't I think of that, was brew the espresso pods over ice and then put your protein shake in it. Like my Fairlife shake. Like I used to do that summer that I was in Pippin. Every single Saturday, I would go to Starbucks, I would get my triple shot of espresso, and I would pour my Premier Protein into it. And that was my breakfast on my way to rehearsal. Every single Saturday. Sweetman handmade are 15 ounce, but that's probably to the brim. Yep. 14 ounces. Okay. Then that's how much I drink. So 14 times 2 is, I would typically drink about 28 ounces of coffee every day. Coffee cake ones are good. Yep. Maybe oat milk. Yeah. And that's the other thing. So now I have to play around. Oh, all of you do oat milk. So creamy. Interesting. I've never tried the oat milk. I've never tried it. And part of me was like, maybe I'll just go, especially with the flavored pot, I don't know if they're flavored, but like, I want to keep them as true to themselves as possible, especially when I'm trying them for the first time. So I'm like, do I just go get half and half and put like 2 tablespoons of half in there and mix it up and whatever, just so I can get like the taste of like without the help of flavoring, just to understand the flavors of the actual flavored pods. So that's been my little treat yourself adventure, has been enjoying fancy coffee in the morning. And then if there happens to be any coffee left in the actual coffee pot, because I've started making much less because my husband, after he got food poisoning, yeah, you guys remember that part of the video? After we got over COVID, we went to Universal Studios and my husband got food poisoning before we got through the ticket gate. Hot mess. So his appetite wasn't right for days after that. And so he didn't drink coffee for a handful of days. And he's like, maybe I should start cutting back anyway. So he's only been filling up his Contigo once instead of twice. And so I've been making a lot less coffee in the coffee pot. So if there's any left, there's usually about that much. I'll take it and have like my second cup, which is really only a third of a cup. But protein drinking is coffee and good. I used to do the iced grande Americano in a venti cup and add a premier protein. Yeah, I did the premier protein thing a lot. A lot. The reason I don't do it anymore is because I don't go to Starbucks unless we're on the road. I allow myself one 20-ounce mug of coffee or 24-ounce cold brew. Oh, for heaven's sake, I keep scrolling. I never tried protein coffee. It's a solid choice if you're a coffee person. It's a solid choice. Oat milk or half and half doesn't change the flavor. Right, which is why I've like, oh, I should just go over to Target and get some half and half. Because then I can have that little bit of cream in there that I like without changing the integrity of the flavor of the coffee. Coffee. I love talking about coffee. It is 7:50 already. How did that even happen? All right, the WWT. I just saw this on a couple of do any of you follow the Skinny-ish Dish on Instagram? First, yesterday, she started talking about how sleazy Built Bar is. No offense to people who actually eat them, but apparently they do not publish anything less than 4 or 5-star reviews on their website. They see them, they don't allow them to publish. So it's no wonder that Built Bar has all of these 5-star reviews because literally the 1-star reviews don't get published. Don't get published. Um Yes, true, but I also don't like my coffee too creamy. On that scale of like black coffee to like have a little bit of coffee with your cream, I'm somewhere like here. Like I'm good with just enough cream to turn it a color, to lighten the color a hair, just enough to get rid of that blackness, but I don't like I've asked for if I forget to ask the people at Starbucks for a splash of half and half, and they give me what a normal person would consider a typical dose of half and half. I'm like, oh, this is far too creamy, far too much cream, not enough coffee. I just need a little bit. So for me, using the 1 or 2 tablespoons of half and half or of the nut pods has been perfectly fine for me. I just don't want to cream it up too much. Which is probably why I was unenthused by my double shot latte today because it was still more milk than coffee. So, it doesn't surprise me one bit. Built Bar is sleepy. They shipped. I know, and that when they went through that whole saga is when I stopped doing them. Apparently, they're still doing real sleazy things. Next week we need to know what your rating is on the chart where it showed coffee based on colors. Yes, I should pull that up. But so the Weight Watchers tea apparently. So this happened I saw this on Star, I believe her name is, the Skinny-ish Dish, her Instagram today, and she led me to somebody else who I have a message from her in my inbox because I commented on her highlight. Brandy Basham. Brand.new.brandy with an I. Just quit Weight Watchers yesterday. And apparently, and I don't know the details, this is just what I saw surfing for a little bit. Weight Watchers is now using Instagram influencers as advertisement. Like if you go and you search WW partner, you come up with people WW partner accounts. Oh, I just want like a post. And she had a whole group of people. New year, new me. Weight Watchers, let's go. Not to I never wanted to like judge anybody's appearance, but the problem is I bet you these people that they're paying to advertise their product do not use or have not needed their plan. They're literally just paying pretty Instagram influencers. Again, nothing wrong with being a beautiful human in good shape. But come on. Are you serious? So they've gone from scrapping their Weight Watchers ambassador program, which was kind of shady and cult like to begin with, but actually full of people who have successfully lost weight on the plan, and gone to Instagram influencers who probably don't use their plan and don't need to use their plan for advertisement. Interesting, yeah? I was like, wow, that's special. That's very special. Okay. And it's just oh, okay. Okay. So that's how they're that's how they're doing it then, huh? All right, sounds good. This they stopped the D360 coaching. I hate their new Instagram. Oh, I haven't even looked. I don't know if I still follow them. I might have unfollowed Weight Watchers, to be honest with you, because it was just so much of like stuff I didn't even need to hear. And what's really interesting is I went and I watched because Skinniest Dish led me over to Brandy's thing, and she saved everything that she talked about on Weight Watchers as a highlight yesterday. So it's highlighted on her account. And she basically was talking about how essentially the new plan started to not work for her. She stopped losing, started gaining. Someone told her to double track, and she ate. I'm doing the real Clip Notes version. She goes, I ate literally twice as many points as I was supposed to, and I consumed 1,300 calories. Twice as many points as I was supposed to in a day. She only got 20 points in a day, and she ate 40 points, and it was 1,300 calories. And so it was eye-opening for her. So she quit. And she said she keeps getting messages from other people in the same situation. And so interesting things sound like they're going to be on the horizon for that company. Glad I got out when I did. Remember when everyone was posting the same picture in black and white? I hated that. I hated that. That is when I started unfollowing WW ambassadors. I didn't care if I knew them or not. I was like, I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. One of the only WW people, I almost automatically will unfollow you if you are toting Built Bar on your feed. I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't like your post either. That's how much that company means to me in the negative sense. And when people started posting all of those black and white photos, and then like the same photos were getting posted everywhere, I was like, nah. I'm pretty sure one of the only Weight Watchers people I still follow is Ivana. Who I think she's in, well, maybe she's not in maintenance, maybe she's still losing, but I like the way she does the plan. She does the plan like real lifestyle, you know. But also I don't like, she doesn't post all that much anymore anyway, so I'm calling bull on ever needing a diet. If she sits sideways, she'd disappear. Exactly. I was like, yeah. And that's what when I started as a healthy ambassador, I actually got reached out to by somebody. Her name was Molly. She's amazing human, but she found me and asked me to create content for them and get paid for some content before the ambassadors were even a thing. And I just thought it was funny that she was working for this program and talking to me about, blog posts and this and that, but she admitted she doesn't really understand what kind of content the people needed, because she's never needed to be on a diet plan. She's working for healthy, but she doesn't understand what it means to be unhealthy. And I was like, that matters. That matters. And I actually don't know how much of the employed people from Healthy actually use the app for their own health journey. I have no idea. Actually, I know of one. We all know him and love him. His name is Jordan. But it's an interesting thing, right? But there's a difference between like, yes, I work for the company like in Weight Watchers. I was in maintenance by the time I was working for the company. I was in maintenance. So I wasn't using it to actively lose, but I was still using the app. Or like if you're pregnant, obviously you can stop following it and do what you need for your body and the baby, right? Whatever. But like if you work for a company, if you work for Healthy and like, somehow you ended up owning it. And I don't know the story of our CEO. He's a great human, sweetest human you'll ever meet. But I don't know if he uses the app or not for his own personal journey or anything like that. So it's different when you're like, you have the ambassadors that are like, hey, let me show you how I'm using this, versus just hiring pretty thin people to tote your app. Feels shady. It feels shady to me. Like, it makes me uncomfortable, because at least when they had the ambassadors, they had people that were using the program and showing success on the program. I keep putting off canceling. Do it. Just do it. This should be the final straw, honestly, in my opinion. People who watch this on the replay and are still avid Weight Watchers users, don't come at me. We're allowed our own opinions, and my opinion is I'm done with that. You guys know I'm done with that. I don't even count bites on Healthy anymore. I count calories and macros exclusively, and I have for years now. I did too. I kept a few people, but the ambassador thing was obnoxious. Yep. I follow a few people who eat Built Bar, but they don't constantly spam. Yeah, and if they're like my friends and they eat it, I'll sometimes shake my head and go, "Oh no, don't do that." But I won't say anything because who am I to judge? I'm on my Instagram stories toting things too. I posted my healthy eating on the go thing the other day. I post my Soul CBD code whenever I have a chance, which shout out to whoever is actually using that code because my commissions came back bonkers last month and I don't even know how it happened because I didn't share anything last month. So you all are behind the scenes using that code even when I'm not toting the product. So thank you for that. Um you always know enough the stuff you're peddling. It's true. It's true. She taught us lifestyle, not a scale number, real life. Stressed, being healthy, not the number on the scale. Yeah, we had a great, it's kind of shady. We had a great conversation today in my healthy meeting about the dependence on the number on the scale. And we were encouraging someone in maintenance to learn to start to let that go, and how important it is to health to start to let that go and acknowledge that fluctuations happen and acknowledge that odds are you didn't gain 5 pounds overnight in fat and all that stuff. It's about so much more. And I actually want to tell y'all that Jordan Syatt, y'all know who he is, right? The little Jewish dude who's touting the best nutrition and health information, I feel like, on Instagram. He's one of the down to earth ones, one of the down to earth real life ones. And he and his friend wrote a book. He and his friend wrote a book, and I've only read the first chapter, and I read it to my healthy meeting today and they all loved it. They all loved it. I'm pretty convinced one person bought the book right then and there. And it's good. And it's on Kindle. So you can get it and have it not take up any room. And I think it's like $13 or something. So I haven't even finished it yet. And I'm going to tell you it's probably worth it. Because one of the things that he talks about is like this journey, and I would read it to you, but my iPad is not downstairs. This journey, he doesn't talk about, he'll get into weight loss and stuff specifically, but he talks about how this journey towards health is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to make you feel happy and confident and energized and everything like that. And then the other thing is there is no end. There's no end. There's no end game here. So even if you hit your goal weight, the journey to wellness continues. It is always happening. And I think that that is a very, very important thing that a lot of us overlook. Right? We're so focused on that number on the scale that we forget that like this whole thing, this lifestyle thing. Let's talk about sleep, let's talk about stress, let's talk about hormones, and yeah, let's talk about diet and weight loss and macronutrients and micronutrients and all of those things. It's about a health and wellness journey that never ends. Once you get to your goal, you got to keep going. Not losing weight on the scale, but you got to keep going on your health and wellness journey. It never ends. Um, so that perspective, just in the first chapter of the book, I was like, oh, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this book because it's what we need to hear. It's the lifestyle talk that we need to hear. Yes. Kind of shady. I don't get CBD off, and when I do, I'm spending $200 to $400. Well, maybe you dropped $400 and it was you. I don't know, but something came in that was higher than I expected, and I was like, I don't even know how I did that. I didn't even share anything this month. How did that happen? So thank you to anybody actually using that. There's some fun things coming down the pipeline. I was talking to them just yesterday, and I am going to get the opportunity to try at least one of their new products that's coming. So I will be able to talk to you about those when I get it. But yeah. All right, friends. All right, friends. We did it. It is 8:00. So all of this to say, first of all, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chatting. It was wonderful to see all of your faces show up in my little chat box. I love talking to you guys as always. And bear with me. Bear with me. I was going to joke it was Lissa. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised. I was just at first I thought it and I saw the number and I was like, that couldn't have been all Lissa. There's no way that was all Lissa. But you might have had something to do with it. But bear with me as we go forward. I encourage you, my friends, and hopefully the link in the description box. I'm looking on StreamYard. If you have Google Calendars, I encourage you to subscribe to the calendar that I have. I updated the calendar today and I put the weekly live stream back in there. And so what the calendar does will show you all of the Diva and the Divine related things that are happening. If like it had my out of office up there, it has weekly live streams, it has the Patreon stuff that's back in action this month. We have a monthly Zoom chat, and then we have a goal setting chat, and the weekly live streams. And it will notify you if you turn on notifications. It will notify you if I move something or delete something. So it would be great. I will do my best to call out if I'm canceling something, but just in case you miss it, if Google Calendars is easy for you, it's a very easy way to find out if I might have accidentally or not accidentally canceled something. Just because I really don't know. I don't know what the next couple of weeks and couple of months is going to bring. And as soon as I know more, I will let you guys know. But there might be house hunting on Wednesdays. And, it's going to be really up in the air for a while. For a while. So I'm going to be here as consistently as I can, but bear with me as we go through this and come out on the other side in a new place and settled, and then for sure back in action 100%. The only problem is I don't know when that's going to be exactly. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here. Again, I know I said it already, but thank you for being here. It means so much to me. Take care. Talk to me on Instagram or wherever it is. I'm here. I'm around. I promise. Am I the only bloke in the family? Right now, Andy, you might be. You might be. We had a lovely gentleman here whose name was John. And he showed up every once in a while. God bless him. He always showed up on the days I was talking about periods and hormones and whatever. And he was like, "Oh, no, it's fine. I've been married for so many years. I hear about it all the time. No big deal." um, and so we had John for a while. Occasionally, my father comes in, and so he'll be here, but he comes and he goes as he pleases if he happens to remember that I'm on. And we had a Mitch, yes. So we've had a couple of men cycle through, but to be completely honest with you, my regular demographic tends to be women. Don't get me wrong, I am glad you're here and you are an active part of the conversation, which is amazing. And you are so very welcome here. But there's a reason that my conversations often end up on things like hormones and women things and whatnot, because it's mostly women up in here, but you are welcome anytime. Anytime. We love having you here. This is a place where everybody is welcome as long as we are sensible human beings to each other and not spamming one another or spouting hate. That is pretty much how I feel about things. And so there's that. Okay. So you're welcome anytime, Andy. And oh, that was fast. Yeah, it happened really, really fast, didn't it? John had the best worst timing. I know, it was almost comical when he would show up because I was like, "Of course you're here today," when I'm literally talking about cycles the entire time. Awesome. Poor John, wherever he is. Poor John. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will talk to you next Wednesday.